Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and I wanted to jump on and do a Twin Flame energy update. And so we've got some big energies playing out this weekend. We do have the Sun in Cancer opposing Pluto at 29 degrees, and so this is a very energetical degree point. It is a very karmic degree point. And what I feel taking place in the energy for the Divine Masculine is some sort of crisis, an identity crisis that's going to really hinder their self-esteem, especially when it comes to some type of catalytic event within that karmic relationship. And so I feel a lot of this is stemming around some very unhealthy self-destructive behaviors. A lot of the masculines, I feel at this point in time, have this deep-seated addiction when it comes to spying on the divine feminine. And I do feel there's some sort of manipulation going on when it comes to a power and control issue. Definitely some jealousy. We also have a Venus going retrograde this weekend, along with Chiron stationing retrograde the day after. And so I feel this energy is kind of creating this very intense struggle, and the masculine feels this need to express his strong ego. But I feel there's also this energy of like exposure, like the karmic's going to go to extreme lengths to maybe bring something out in the open. I feel a lot of the masculines have tried to be like very private, and I do feel they've gone to extreme lengths to hide everything going on in the background, to kind of project like their life is perfect, they're this perfect human being, and this projection of, hey, they're totally in control of everything around them. But I feel there's some sort of destructive process taking place in the energies that's going to lead to some sort of conflict within the karmic cycle, because all of this internal battle that's been brewing is going to be exposed in the outer reality. And so a lot of this is due to the self-sabotaging behaviors. And I do feel a major theme of death and rebirth for the Divine Masculine this weekend. And the resurfacing of all of the memories that run deep within the masculine soul and in his heart, creating this intense fear. I feel fear of death, fear of resurrection, fear of failure, and fear of this process of transformational change that's been taking place at the cellular DNA level. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines, this transformation is needed. And they're having a hard time expressing their true self-identity. And so the energies are going to bring forward some type of significant experience or crisis that's kind of going to force the masculine's hand to make these substantial changes. And so even then, there's going to be more changes that are still going to need to be made in the masculine's life. We do need to remember the spiritual journey, the awakening journey, is a lifelong process. It is a lot of inner shadow work that we work at, and we work hard at this to aim for perfection, although nothing is perfect. But I feel if this crisis were not to happen at this time, I don't think the masculine would embrace this change. There's been so much resistance to this transformational process and change. I just saw something float in front of me. And so this stubborn resistance to this change and this engagement and all of these destructive behaviors and habits towards himself, towards others, I do feel things are starting to kind of happen out of control. The masculine is way out of control, is what it feels like, and they need help, whether they realize they need help or not. And so there is this underlying jealousy too, with this need to have control over the feminine, control over this entire situation, their environment, everything. And this is all due to the experience of separation and the deeply bruised ego. And so I do feel there's great potential for positives this weekend if we're open to the changes that these energies are bringing. But I do feel there's going to be a lot of change that is going to be forced upon the Divine Masculines, whether this is instigated by the karmic or some type of less disruptive life event But whatever is taking place, these energies are aiming to transform the masculine's life for the better. And so if we're here to evolve as a soul and to live a better life and to experience joy and satisfaction, we can't keep going through these recurring closed emotional relationship cycles. And with Venus stationing retrograde in Leo, I do feel there's a lot of shadow work going on when it comes to the sign of Leo this retrograde period. And so Venus deals with love, beauty, finances, and this Venus retrograde, it's going to illuminate these repeating patterns. So if you can look back to about 8 years ago, what cycles were you entering into 8 years ago? For me, if I look back to 8 years ago, the last retrograde Venus period was from July 2015 until September 6, 2015. So 8 years ago. Go back to 2015. Where were you at in 2015? For me, I believe that was the summer that I met my karmic that I have my youngest daughter with. And so that is coming back up again to be addressed. And so these common themes are coming up from about 8 years ago that need to be addressed, especially around love and past lovers and relationships. And so the past is going to be reappearing when it comes to some relationships that ended. And so this is a cycle that really needs our attention. And the Leo energy is strong, is what I'm feeling. And so we're going to be questioning our current relationship, all of our past romances. There's going to be old friends popping back up. There's going to be old lovers that will likely reappear, especially when it comes to complicated relationships, karmic relationships, and any complicated current relationships are going to have to be addressed. Like the energy is calling upon the twins to deal with these relationship issues once and for all. And so any events are going to be fated, I feel. They're going to be predestined at this time. And they're going to be unavoidable. It's kind of like the Tower reversed. And so this can be a very real, challenging time for the Twin Flame collectives when it comes to getting close. And so we're here to bring forward these new unorthodox ways of building family structures. And it's almost like the twins are here on this cosmic experimental journey. And we've gone into all of these really non-intimate relationships. And we've favored these non-intimate relationships, calling them intimacy because of the sexual passion, when true intimacy is heart-centered and it is about the truth, right? When you can be your most raw, authentic self in front of somebody, that is when you are your most vulnerable. And so I do feel we're going to find it hard to express affection over the next little bit, especially if we've been lacking when it comes to a sincere and genuine relationship, and we've just been staying in a situation because of the social niceties that it brings. And so we can't keep being inclined to cling to the status quo out of fear of negative consequences. And so a lot of the masculines have held on to all of these negative associations. And with Venus going retrograde in Leo, this is going to be hard to ignore. It's going to be very prominent. And all of these themes of egoism are coming up. Like, we cannot buy affection. We cannot manipulate people to love us. And so any strong Leo placements in your natal chart, be ready to be more introspective with those aspects. And maybe you're going to be distant when it comes to those energies. So for me, my North Node is in Leo. Hi, Kitty. What else do I have in Leo? I have my 6th house in Leo. And so I also have my North Node in my 6th house. And so 6th house is health. It's also career. And so I've been really going into introspective when it comes to what I want to bring forward on the channel moving forward for all of you. And so just pay attention to the strong Leo placements in your chart, because it's not going to be in a favorable position, I feel, over the coming months. It's going to be a time for being when it comes to those aspects. So if you're like a sun, a moon, or a rising sign, this is going to be deeply affecting you at the egoic level, right? At your emotional level, The sun is our ego, it's our self-identity. The moon is our emotions, it's how we handle emotions in relationships. Say if you've got a Jupiter in Leo, you could be going through some sort of heart expansion. North Node in Leo, this could mean like an activation of your heart-centered karmic pathway. And so there's going to be reassessments. There's going to be changes that need to be made in these areas of your life, especially if it's been challenging. And so it's like where one cycle kind of comes to an end, a new cycle does begin. But there's going to be a lot of relationships that are not going to survive this retrograde. So we can reach completion within these unions. And so this is also a good time just to keep your eyes and your ears wide open, because we do have Chiron going retrograde. And so this is kind of screaming at the divine masculine to stop playing the martyr and to stand up for yourself. And so this is a period where the twins are being given a chance to revise this pain of the separation. As uncomfortable as it is, these uncomfortable truths do need to come to light. They do need to be faced. And so we also have to face the past where things didn't work out, or there could be, you know, a rebalancing when it comes to an injustice as part of this human experience. Because when something bad happens, and when we feel that something is unfair, or if something is unfair, I feel the Chiron retrograde is teaching us the acceptance of the lesson, acknowledging of the hurt, so we can become whole again, right? We can't really step into a state of wholeness and completeness if we haven't acknowledged the pain, if we haven't acknowledged the hurt. And so if we don't learn these lessons, these Chiron lessons, then we keep going forward in our life, and we usually unintentionally hurt others the same way that we've been hurt. So let's jump in with some cards. I'm going to kick Kitty off of the desk, and let's see what needs to come through with the cards and the energies for the twins for the weekend check-in. Well, we got victory. And so I do feel victory when it comes to these higher unions, the clearing of the past pain, the clearing of the past cycles. And so we get May, which would be springtime. We could be dealing with a Taurus or Gemini, I believe. Taurus or Gemini. And then we get Seahorse. And so the family matters. And so this is what the twins came here to do, was to clear these ancestral patterns, these family issues that keep repeating through generation after generation. So I do feel if we go back to May, April, May, that's about when we had that last eclipse energy, right? April, May, around then. And so we're going to have one last eclipse in the sign of Taurus and Scorpio around November, December. And so I do feel we've been going into the clearing of the sorrow of all of these past losses. And there is that secret admirer. And I do feel the masculine has been watching in the background, secretly admiring the feminine. And I do feel there might be some issues when it comes to money matters. And so with all of these energies kind of playing out, it could lead to unexpected windfalls, unexpected bankruptcies. And so right now I do feel we are all being asked to use our intuition to make these beneficial changes. And I do feel the masculine is getting prepared to do something risky and to take a chance to deepen this relationship with the divine feminine, because they've been in a state of depression, anxiety, and worry that everybody's kind of working against them. And they've kind of buried all of this strong emotion and passion for the feminine due to the two-faced karmic entity that they've been attached to. And so I do feel get ready for some type of trouble, some type of accusations. And I do feel a flame is being lit when it comes to the masculine needing to take action. And so, oh my God, there's that hard awakening. And so I feel the feminine is encouraged to disconnect, to go within, to retreat, to connect with the earth as the masculine goes through this higher heart opening, this higher heart purge at this time. And so there's that paradigm shift. And so I do feel there's a major shift taking place this weekend when it comes to the masculine, letting go of these old, outdated relationship cycles that were rooted in karmic belief patterns. So we'll see what else comes through here. Living consciously, self-actualization. There's that Tower reversed. There's that self-identity crisis. And so I do feel there is going to be some type of Tower identity crisis that is going to force the masculine to make a decision. He's going to have to be forced into making a decision because he's been living his life for others, not really consciously living his life. And so I do feel a major severing of these old attachments, these old karmic cycles, these old memories, the unhealthy energies, the unhealthy self-sabotaging behaviors, and choosing to step into living consciously. And so I do feel the masculine is going into his core strengths. I do feel he's recognizing the people around him that have used him, that have taken advantage of him, and he's stepping into deepening this relationship to himself. And so we can't have these deepened spiritual connections with the counterpart until we both at an individual level do the healing process. We both have to learn what makes us tick, what brings us joy. We both have to find our own inner motivation to master the art of self-love. And this is about reconnecting with our higher self. And so there's going to be a lot of ego dismissals, ego deaths in the energy with the sun opposing Pluto, in order for the twins to reach the conclusion of this lesson, to be able to step into mastery, to reach the pivot point, the pinnacle point on the journey, because enough healing has taken place that we are ready to have that face-to-face. And so Divine Feminine, keep shining your light. Keep shining your light, because this is assisting the masculine with their awakening at this time. And so there's the King of Cups. Oh my God. And there's the Emperor. And so this is the way the masculine will be returning to the feminine. I feel an offer of love. This could be an offer of commitment. The masculine is looking this love in the heart. I do feel the eye of the heart. He's looking straight at the love of this connection, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and then we get the Aries energy. And so we're here to be these spiritual leaders, right? And so the Emperor, a true masculine leader, shines that light too. He does the right thing. He comes from a place of accountability, integrity. And I do feel there is going to be an emotional offer, a commitment coming for the feminine. That is the rise. That is like the rise of the sleeping phoenix energy. Oh my God, judgment. Judgment just come out of the deck. And so that is awakening. This is past karma coming back around. And we got the Two of Wands in reversed. And so, you know, the masculine has had plenty of opportunities to choose the higher path. I know the opportunity for my own counterpart has been presented many times for the communication. And so it is that final judgment call, a process of soul retrieval. And oh my gosh, we just got the King of Coins in reversed with the Knight of Coins upright. So it's like the masculine, I feel, knows that he has to come in with a solid offer. I also feel like there's resistance too, because a lot of the masculines, they chose materialism, they chose greed, they chose to be selfish. And so I just feel teetering on, do I come? Do I mature? Do I bring in this faithful offer for victory with the Divine Feminine? But I feel in the back of their mind, there's the underlying pain of not going into the depths of the missed opportunity due to the third party. And so this is going to have to be addressed. And we're going to have to talk about the interference. We're going to have to talk about the grief. We're going to have to talk about the challenges. So we've got Mercury and Cancer energy. We've got masculine energy, Scorpio energy. We've got Pisces energy. And then we got that Tower. And then we got that Tower. And so I feel a realization of, you know, they did not value what the feminine had to offer. They didn't go towards her nurturing. I feel they're in a situation where they could be dealing with somebody that's only with them for the money. The Emperor upright and the Empress reverse, that's not a true pair. There could be abuse going on there. But I do feel we do need to recognize the interference. We have to talk about the shame, the guilt, the regret. We have to clear those energies. And so I feel right now the masculine is really in a state of lacking passion, lacking drive, getting a major wake-up call about the situation he's in. I feel the veil has been lifted. There's that Tower, right? Unavoidable change. Mars, Pluto, they're coming in with this brute force, I feel, to push the masculine into taking action towards the divine feminine. And I do feel there's going to be an offer coming by Leo season, by the Lionsgate energy. But right now I feel there's a lack of strength. All of these secrets have been unveiled. And there's that wounded healer energy. And so we have to recognize the toxicity. We really have to recognize the self-sabotaging behaviors, the toxicity, being caged in situations that we don't belong in. And a lot of the masculines have been dancing with the devil many lifetimes, playing into power and control issues. Their ego, right, has definitely been bruised. And we're in a state of realignment right now. So let's get one last message from Spirit. I want to keep it short and sweet. I've got a busy week ahead, busy weekend ahead. And so I do feel, yes, there's going to be some type of upheaval. The masculine is going to have to find his strength and his determination to recover, to get to know himself again, because he's really been depleted and dissatisfied in that karmic situation, which is creating dissatisfaction in all areas of his life, because he's not really been nourishing himself. He's been rejecting his own inner feminine by running from the divine feminine. And so I know I felt the urge to reach out and offer a healing hand again, to offer that olive branch. And so you might feel the urge, divine feminine, to reach out and offer a healing hand to the masculine that I do feel really needs you at this time. You can do this energetically in meditation as well, but I do feel we're reaching the conclusion of a very important lesson, right? A lot of these karmic cycles, they serve to teach us something very important about ourselves, what is lacking. And so I do feel a major purification, putting on the brakes when it comes to these toxic situationships, anything that isn't serving our highest good, so we can honor our physical vessel, our spiritual purpose. We can learn to start taking better care of ourselves, mind, body, and soul, so we can finally acknowledge and learn from the past once and for all. And so what we've been through on this journey does make us stronger. The worst is over, and I do feel, you know, that divine partner will be showing up. And this is a love like you've never known before. So I do feel this weekend we're evolving. We're learning these karmic lessons. We're working through this very difficult past life karma. And we're acknowledging the difficulties so we can finally heal from them. And that's what I got for the twins for the weekend check-in, guys. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you want to book in with me, check out the description box below. You'll find my email down there. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.